I had this idea for a game. Basically, you'll have all the different classes of weapons like pistols, shotguns, and assault rifles, and upon using each class of weapon more, you'll fill up this little proficiency meter here. And upon filling the proficiency meter, you can kind of change how well you actually use the weapons in ways such as reducing how much the camera recoils when you shoot it, how fast you reload, how quickly you can switch to it, all sorts of stuff like that. And as you play the game, if you stop using a certain weapon, your proficiency meter will actually go down over time. So you'll lose proficiency in a class of weapon if you stop using it for a certain amount of time. Then you have to use the weapons again to regain that proficiency that you once had to fill the meter back up. Your character also has a proficiency meter that you can fill by filling out these proficiency meters or performing specific tasks like sprinting, vaulting over things, stuff like that, which will then be increased when you fill the proficiency meter. So let's say you finish the proficiency meter task of running. That would increase your character's ability to sprint, so they can sprint faster and for longer. But if you don't play the game for a while, and the proficiencies here start going down, the proficiencies for your character will also start going down. So it's a way of keeping players playing the game to keep their proficiency meters fully up. And let's say they add a new weapon, like a shotgun of sorts. So let's say they add a lever action shotgun or something, just a regular new type of shotgun. Now, let's say your proficiency meter on shotguns is already full when they add this new weapon. The first time you use it, it will calculate how much proficiency you've filled in the shotgun category, in this case maximum, and it will split the proficiency meter into thirds and fill the first third of the proficiency meter. Since you already know how to use other shotguns, it will fill the first third because you have some experience using the weapons. And of course, depending on how many shotguns you have maximized your proficiency in, it may be a bit lower, like half of a third, so like a sixth of it is filled, but you get the point. Basically, this whole game has a system built into it to keep people playing the game, because as new weapons get added, your proficiency meters will go down because you won't have every weapon completely proficiencyed. Yeah. You won't have the proficiency meters on specific weapons fully completed, so your proficiency level on the weapon category will go down. Basically, you have to keep playing the game to keep your proficiencies up, and your player proficiency can go up by completing other proficiencies, all sorts of stuff. And then, the actual matchmaking, you can matchmake in two different ways. You can matchmake with players of similar level to you, so below you, above you, just pretty, relatively close levels to you. Alternatively, you can play with players of all skill levels. No matter what skill level they are, you will be playing with them. Now, playing this mode will actually grant you like 1.5 or 2% more XP or proficiency than playing this mode would. So you'd be more likely to run into higher skilled players in this mode than you would in this one. So your proficiency would go up depending on how much, you actually use the weapons in that match. Playing in this mode would get you more XP, but you'd be more likely to die because players of higher proficiency are fighting against you, but there are also players of lower proficiency. Whereas playing this mode, you're all relatively evenly spread out, so you should be pretty consistent in your kills. Now you might be wondering, well, how do I get proficiency? Well, I'll tell you. Let's say your match is 10 minutes long. And let's say you used a pistol for 5 of those minutes. Now, I'm not sure the exact maths of how much proficiency you would get per match, but I'm going to try my best. So 5 out of the 10 minutes in the match were spent using a pistol. Then let's say for 3 minutes in the match you used a shotgun, and for 2 you used some sort of explosive weapon, like an RPG or something. So in the 10 minutes you played, 5 was spent with a pistol, 3 was spent with a shotgun, and 2 were spent with explosive weapons. Basically, the game would take these numbers and calculate how much proficiency per weapon you would get based on how long the match was and how long you used those weapons. So you actually have to play matches with certain weapons to gain more proficiency for how long you use them. I don't know, just a little crazy idea I had at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I am not at all... I'm probably never going to do anything with this because I don't know how to make games, but if I ever did... if I was ever going to make a game, I would want to make this, because it sounds fun.